Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, y'all know how the story go, man. Just dropped my daughter off at daycare and I'm heading to the plantation. But peep game, let's get into it, man. Let's get into this, man. Man, oh man, oh man. A lot of people are having a lot to say about this Canelo Alvarez L that he got a hold. And it's all good, man. Like, listen, man, this is how the story go, man. 99% of fighters do not retire undefeated. It's a rare occasion when somebody is challenging themselves at the highest level and they retire undefeated. This is why cats like Floyd Mayweather and Joe Calzaghe and even Rocky Marciano, this is why they're held in such high revere, because goddamn, this is why they're held in such high revere, because they was able to test themselves at the highest level and never take a L. So it's a beautiful thing when somebody can do that and stay undefeated, but that isn't the story of everybody, man. Everybody is not going, 99.9% of boxers are not going to retire undefeated. It is a very small percentage of boxers who retire undefeated and stay at that and consistently challenge themselves, man. So whatever with that. You don't I get tired of that argument that, oh man, he lost, he got a loss, he got so and so many L's. Who cares? Who cares? If you can grow from it, it is what it is, man. But the behavior that's been going on amongst fans is to be expected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I expected all of the vitriol for Canelo to really come into fruition when Bivol beat him. I'm just mature enough to say that, hey, I didn't think that he was gonna win that fight, and I'm a fan of Canelo. I didn't think he was gonna win that fight, even if he was to lose at super middleweight, which in the now is, looking to be like his best division. He lost. Somebody just had, if David Morrell was to beat him, I would be like, that's a bad motherfucker right there. You know what I'm saying? One thing people do is they'll denigrate all right, peep game. How is it that Canelo Alvarez is getting all this slander for challenging himself? Because it's wild how, he'll get all the slander for challenging himself to go up to a whole nother division. And he's been at 175 pounds before, but as I've stated before, there were hurdles in front of Kovalev from, securing him that victory. They did everything possible to see to it that Canelo won that fight. So how is it that Canelo can go up and challenge himself against a fully hydrated world champion who's arguably the best in the division? And it would be a different story if he fought Artur Beterbiev. It would be a different story, because Artur Beterbiev is a fighter that's going to accommodate Canelo and meet him in the middle of the ring. He doesn't have to worry about the tap dancing and getting walked into traps and the catch and shoot counters. He ain't got to worry about all that. He don't got to worry about all that with Beterbiev. With Bivol, he has the style that has historically given Canelo headaches. So for him to go up and take that challenge, nobody is really unpacking the layers of this fight. Everybody talks about how he ducks slick fighters. Now, Bivol, I wouldn't say is necessarily slick. I think people was really getting the word, the phrase slick confused and fucked up. This niggas talking about Jamal Charlo was slick. No, not at all. And people just thinking that like slick means just good footwork on, being able to tap dance on the outside and really elusive head movement. Slick is slippery. When you can't get a shot through, you don't have to roll and ride every punch and slip and weave every shot neither. But if you're not getting hit, what are you calling that? What are you calling that? So nobody's really unpacking the layers in this fight. They're just happy that he lost. But these same fans, because it's really coming from by and large, it's coming from one demographic of people. These same fans praise Deontay Wilder for not taking that $120 million deal with the Zone to fight Anthony Joshua. They're praising him for that. They're all, well, he didn't know what he was getting, and y'all like, how do you do that? You can't sit here and none of the they're not holding any of the fighters that they push and pull for to the same standard that they're holding Canelo to. I'm not mad at the shit talking. It happens. You don't think if Jermall Charlo loses to Sulecki, I'ma be on niggas' asses? You out of your mind if you don't think that. Because I think he is completely underwhelmed as a champion. He's getting the push that he's getting because, you know, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to say that. But Jermall Charlo was not who it is that they're saying that he is, and he had the potential to be what they're telling him that he is. But he got complacent. He got extremely complacent, and he's been allowed to get away and avoid certain fights his damn self. And they don't put no, they don't, I mean, I've seen a few people bang on him for the Sulecki fight, but is it in hordes the way that they clapping at Canelo? You got to think, in these boxing pages that I'm on Facebook, it's a heavy black population in those spaces. I've only seen one or two people denigrate this fight with Sulecki that he has coming up. But, you know, we can clap at Canelo for challenging himself. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't see them saying shit about Charlo not fighting Andre. I don't see anything about them saying I've seen people denigrate David Benavidez for standing on 10 toes after the nigga said he was gonna do this and that and the third to him. Or, you know, why, you know, you being a bully. He trying to be a bully and fight the smaller man. The smaller man shouldn't have ran his mouth. Why is it the smaller man now? It's just like whatever avenue you can take to make sense out of the situation, that's the avenue that y'all take. When the smaller man clapped at Earl Spence, that's being perceived as one of Earl Spence's best wins because Mikey Garcia was pound for pound and undefeated and this and that and the third. He was an incredible boxer. He's all of that. He was all of that. But the thing is, he had never fought at 147 pounds. But we want to give admiration to Earl for winning that fight. I haven't even watched that fight. Keep shit stacked with you. I've watched some highlights. I'm not sitting down and I'm not watching that fight. I'm not giving Earl Spence more credit for beating Mikey Garcia than I would give him credit for beating Kell Brook and Sean Porter. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because those are his best wins. I wouldn't even give him more credit for beating a Danny Garcia because at least Danny Garcia was a champion at 147 pounds. You feel me? Everybody talks about, oh man, Canelo's on a Euro bum tour. What is all these fighters that y'all are rooting for on? What's the path that they're on? These dudes are not fighting other niggas from California and New York and Texas and Louisiana and Chicago and Milwaukee and Kansas City. They not fighting brothers from there. The last black dude that Jermall Charlo fought was Brandon Adams, and he moved him up from 54. Like, man, y'all gotta stop, man. I can't remember the brother's name, the last brother that Andre fought, but what was his name? I cannot remember this dude's name to save my life. But it's just baffling me how he's getting held to these, you know, these standards when they don't do the same for the fighters that they're pulling for. I don't mind the shit talking, but if the playing field was a bit more even, it'd be a lot more logical in the stances that they stand on, man. How the fuck do you, like, bro? Wilder has not fought anybody of note. He fought nobody in the top 10 except for Luis Ortiz. Dominic Brazil, get the fuck out of here with that. No, I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that. They only elevated that man due to the fact that they had a beef between him and Wilder. They elevated him over a Dillian White. No, I'm not. You're not about to play me with Dominic Brazil. It's not happening. I won't. No, not happening. Not happening at all. So, where's the same fucking energy? That's my biggest thing, you know, the biggest takeaway from this. The shit talk, a lot of it is funny to me. A lot of it is funny. I'll legit laugh, man, but when shit gets real left field, I'm seeing people say, what, it's a certain narrative If they not black, they have to be undefeated, or they have to be black and they have to be undefeated. And then when you bring up the 2 black fighters that he fought, American black fighters, one of them being an undefeated world champion, he's a bum. He's a bum after he beat Miguel Cotto. I'm talking about Austin Trout. He was one of the top 54 pounders in the division in his heyday. And he's a bum? Danny Jacobs is a bum? Danny Jacobs is a bum, but Juan Montiel isn't. Danny Jacobs is a bum, even though he beat Sergey Derevianchenko first, but that is Jermall Charlo's best win and the win that they want to highlight. They want to unpack everything in, oh, well, Jermall Charlo dominated him. Danny Jacobs dropped him and gave him his first L. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, we want to ask, oh, well, what black undefeated champion did Canelo fought? What black undefeated champ has Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andre fought? Demetrius Andre has fought no champions thus far in his 13-year stint as a professional fighter. Jermall Charlo has a belt at 160 pounds right now because Canelo vacated the straps. He didn't go through no gauntlet opponents to get to that strap. Where's this energy at? Where is this energy? When you break down certain arguing and talking points that these dudes try to bring to the table, they'll, they'll discredit you by saying that fighter was a bum. These dudes haven't fought champions. They haven't. Bundridge was like 40-something years old when he fought Charlo, or when Charlo took that belt from him. And Bundridge was not no Golovkin. He wasn't no B-Hop. He wasn't no George Foreman. He wasn't no Manny. He isn't no Nito. He isn't none of these fighters at an advanced age in the sport. But he gets admiration for at least dethroning a champion and him be like, it's just the dumbest shit in the world with how y'all operate. There's no logic involved in it. There's no logic involved in it. And this is how you know a lot of these cats are here by way of certain channels and certain instances that events that took place in boxing that got your attention. A lot of these dudes are here off of the back of the Wilder debacle with Fury. They run to them LDBC channels and they just regurgitate all of the talking points and narratives that they present. And the conversations get so convoluted with misinformation that they can't seem to find a way to rationalize with it. It's no rationale with these cats. For a nigga to sit up here and say what black undefeated fighters as Canelo Alvarez beat, and then you bring up Trout and he gets discredited by calling him a bum, even though he was undefeated and a champion and one of the top in the division. You bring up Danny Jacobs, who wasn't undefeated. He wasn't undefeated, but a champion nonetheless. And all of the fighters, Jermall Charlo's two out of his last 3 fights they got their first loss off of a Danny Jacobs. Their first loss off of Danny Jacobs. It makes no sense how y'all niggas operate, man. And it's being done. I don't mind the tribalism. I don't mind that we're galvanizing our troops as a people in any sector of black, in any sector of black, where there's black people, like any black sector. I'm not mad at that. But just bring it with some sort of sense of logic and hold your people or hold our people to the same standard. Because at the moment, their growth has been stunted. Y'all can say whatever the fuck it is y'all want to say, man, but Andre's growth, he's not growing as a fighter. Charlo, they're not challenging themselves in order to do that. You don't think Canelo was every loss? Motherfuckers usually grow if the hunger is still in them, man. Canelo is the face of the sport, and he's in the gym. Every time you see him, he got black eyes and busted. He's in the gym going through the ringer, going through dog fights, and he sees and he's hearing all of this slander that just everybody couldn't wait for him to lose. Even Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia got some slick shit to say about him. You don't think he's taking that back to the gym and putting that on every sparring partner that's standing in front of him? So I'm not mad at brothers galvanizing themselves around the other. I'm not mad at that at all. I love it. I think it's dope. I just hate the contradictory stances on it. I hate it. It's the corniest shit in the world, man. Let's hold our people to the same standard so we can grow. Let's do that. Let's do that. Nobody is talking about it. Y'all got every arguing point y'all bring up. Oh man, he's on the Eurobum tour, so is Charlo and Andre. Their next fighters are Europeans. Their best wins are Europeans. You dig what I'm saying? What black undefeated fighter, what black American undefeated fighter has Canelo beat? What black undefeated fighter has Charlo and Andre beat? What? Like, name them. You can't. You know why? Because they have yet to do it. They have yet to do it. Andre had one opportunity to do it with goddamn with motherfucking Jermell Charlo. Backed out of the fight. Charlo had an opportunity to do it. Didn't want to entertain Andre. Where's the energy at as it pertains to them? Where's their energy at? How come they couldn't fight not a Carlos Taka, but a Toriano Johnson? What was preventing them from that? Someone in your division, in your class. That's a reputable win. Jaime Munguia can fight. He can stop Toriano Johnson to get credit for it. Why couldn't one of y'all? Toriano Johnson isn't no high-profile fighter. You could have easily pulled him over there and got that work in, but y'all didn't care to do that. You dig what I'm saying? Let's hold our own to the same standards. Let's hold our own to the same standards, because this is what niggas do. We want our own to expect a seat at the table, man. But when they do the fuck shit, we disregard it because it's off cold behavior to speak on their wrongdoings and their shortcomings. And like I said, in the process of y'all denigrating Canelo Alvarez, y'all shit on honestly the most decorated black American fighter that at middleweight, in the now. Charlo and Andre are 2 division world champions, man, but who did they go through to get them straps? You dig me? Julian Williams was a really good win for Charlo, I think. But after that, it's like, all right, cool. Well, who else after that? They always revert back to that, and they'll run to Sergey Derevianchenko. As if the man wasn't, as if he was undefeated. You gave him his 3rd loss. Which I'm not opposed to somebody having an L on their resume, man, but it's the stipulations that y'all bring to the table that has the conversation so stupid and the water's muddied. I think I'll try my best to give Charlo, not even my best, I give Charlo credit for that Derevianchenko win. But when you start doing dumb shit, oh man, he beat Derevianchenko in more dramatic fashion than Danny Jacobs did. Danny Jacobs is trash. He ain't this and that and the third. He ain't yada yada yada. All right, now we got to get to unpacking that Derevianchenko win. We have to talk about the war that he had with Gennady Golovkin, fresh off of a war with Golovkin. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about a year of inactivity. We got to talk about that. We have to bring all of that shit into the light because y'all don't know how to just say, yo, all right, yeah, what, all right. Because y'all want to put all the extras on it. I ain't really going for it. I'm really going for it. So I'm just saying, man, keep the same fucking energy. That's what it all boils down to, keeping the same fucking energy. And y'all niggas don't do that. And y'all don't do that because y'all, you know, for y'all to do that, for y'all to hold our own fighters to a certain standard, to the same standard as y'all hold everybody else, is off-code behavior. And it's just the dumbest shit in the world. It is the dumbest shit in the world. With that same type of drama, we should net you holding a William O'Neal, castigating a William O'Neal by y'all standards is off-code behavior. Even though he was immediately complicit in the assassination of one of our greatest minds on this, you know, in this country. He's immediately complicit for that. You dig what I'm saying? By y'all standards, R.R. Moulton, we need to just sweep that under the rug. Even though he was complicit in bringing down Garvey. Ronald Karanga. All of these black activists and these nationalists from back in the day, they met their demise and their downfall because of niggas within their organization that rotted it and corroded it from the inside out. Why the fuck are we like this? It's the dumbest shit in the world. This is what happens when you try to conflate black politics on a political scale and in boxing. The behavior that y'all are displaying, you have no other choice but to disregard the fuck shit that them niggas did. It's the dumbest shit in the world. It's the dumbest shit in the world. Because to speak against them is being off code because they're black. It's the dumbest shit in the world. Hold Charlo and Andre to the same standard that we hold Canelo Alvarez to. Hold Wilder to the same standard because y'all didn't hold Wilder to the same standard. He's another dude who had infinite potential to be more than what he was. You think if Wilder had the boxing skill of at least of a Gerald Washington, he would be a handful of that much more of a handful? Y'all fell in love with the right hand. Y'all fell in love with him becoming wanting to be an advocate on black politics, which is a beautiful thing. It's not to denigrate him. But he took that shit and he ran with it. He couldn't accept that he lost to a white man on Black History Month, and that shit fucks with him to this day. And y'all excuse the behavior by doing the dumb shit that y'all repeated. It's just the dumbest shit in the world, man. All in all, keep the same fucking energy, man. If we gonna hold Canelo to these standards, if you gonna denigrate Canelo when he tests himself and challenges himself and moving up in higher divisions, do the same with them niggas. Do the same with them niggas, because neither of them niggas is moving up and trying to be great. They just waiting on, it's like they're waiting on, yo, I deserve my check. I deserve my check. And you're gonna see how detrimental that has been to them when they step in the ring and finally run it with that little dude. And he stops them dramatically, man. Deuces.